Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing. Now I'm going to pronounce this as Fogcelli. I'm not entirely certain. Normally when we take a look at Meggen033's Fog kind of town-based puzzles, it's fairly obvious what culture kind of the play on is on. But I'm going to guess this is Italian and this is meant to be pronounced Celli, like Sicily. And then obviously that's C rather than Ch. Anyway, we're actually a little bit behind on Meggen033's puzzles, so I'm sure you're all going to be so disappointed. We are going to feature yet another one of Meggeno's puzzles later this week, just to play a bit of catch-up since, we're kind of committed to the series. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Fogcelli by Meggen033 and the following set of rules. First one, normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Column and 3x3 box, so nothing unusual here. Adjacent digits along a green German whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. So if this cell is a 2, for example, this would have to be 7, 8, or 9 for it to be 5 or more away. If this happens to be an 8, this would have to be 1 or 3. Obviously, I'm not repeating the 2 in the same box. So you notice the German whisper lines oscillate between low digits 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits 6, 7, 8, 9, and back and forth we go. Digits in cages do not repeat and sum to the clue in the top left, so these 4 cells have to add up to 12. A white dot between cells indicates cell values with consecutive, let me reword that. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values and not all dots are given. So if this cell is 8, this would have to be 7 or 9 so that it is indeed consecutive. No negative constraint. So what does that mean? If that is a 1 and this is a 2, they're clearly consecutive and there is no white dot between them. That's totally fine. Now, there is another kind of dot, which is a black dot between cells, indicate cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. So if this was a black dot rather than white, one of these would have to be double the other. So 4, for example, would do just fine. Last thing that's fairly obvious to state, the grid is partially covered with fog, and correctly placing digits will clear the fog around that cell. No guessing is required. So, as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I'm sure you kind of noticed through my walkthrough that given the parities of these oscillate, these are clearly 2 greens and 1 purple. Now, I have a very strong suspicion that greens in this case is high. And the reason I say that is I'm kind of looking at the 12th cage and thinking, if I don't have 3 low digits, I think I'm going to break this. So, for example, if these were low, and let's, for the sake of argument, assume this is 3, 4 or something similar, and I only allow to use 1 and 2 in here, this is adding up to 3. These 2 cells have to add up to 9. And it's either 3, 6, which uses another low digit, or it's 4, 5, which uses another low digit. So long story short, these 2 cells have to be high. This has to be low. This cannot be too high, as in it can't be 4, for example. Otherwise, this would require a double 9. But I could put 1, 2, or 3 in here. And technically that would allow me 1, 2, 3, or 4 in here. So this is not great because it doesn't allow me to restrict the digits. And obviously nothing stops me from placing 1 and 2 in here. Can it? Can I do that? I don't think I can. If I don't place a 1 in here, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the minimum, which is 14. So 1 absolutely has to be inside the 12th cage. I think so does the 2. Because 1, 3, 4, 5 is 13. So this has to be 3. This gives me an 8, 9 pair. Now, without the 3 inside the 12, so I have 1, 2, and 4 as a minimum. That would give me 7 and 5. Right, so this is 1, 2, 4, 5. Clearly, this is not 1. This has to be 2 or 4 to be consecutive. And this white crop dot is not actually that helpful. Is it not that helpful? I don't think it's that helpful. I mean, it's almost certainly leading us to the next part of the puzzle, so to speak. So if this is 1, that's 2, that's 4, that's all fine. Is it? No. 1, 2, 4 breaks this black crop kit out because it can't be 3, 6, and I've just used 1, 2, and 4. The only thing that's left is 8 on its own. So that can't be 1. Now I think 2, 4 in here is a problem. Because again, not 3, 6, and then I can't use 1, 2, can't use 2, 4, can't use 4, 8. So in essence, if this is 2 or 4, this will be the other 2 or 4, and I'll end up with a 2, 4 pair. So this has to be 5. This is now 4 or 6. I think 4 is a problem still because that would create a 2, and then the black crop dot has nothing, so that has to be 6. And I think we've clearly established that there's another 2 or 4 in here with an 8. I just don't know what it is. 3 cells that add up to 9 is probably interesting. Say probably. Trick with 9 and 3 cells is it doesn't have to have a 1. It could be 2, 3, 4. Now 2, 3, 4 would put a 2 in here, right? Right. Yeah, 2, 3, 4 we can discount. Can't be 3. Ends up in a 2, 4 pair, breaks the black crop dot again. So there has to be a 1 inside this 9 cage. And it's either 1, 2, 6, which it isn't, or it's 1, 3, 5, which it is, with this being a 1 because I've got 5 and 3 in the column. So this is definitely 1. These 2 cells, I don't actually know, they're just 7, 8, 9. There's lots of options. 1 in here tells me that this is 2, 4, 8 with a definite 4 now. Because 1 is not available. And then because there is a definite 4 to join either the 2, 4 or the 4, 8, well, this can't be 4, that's 2. That's a 1, 4 pair here. 7, 8, 9, given it can't be next to 6 here, this is another 7, 8, 9 and gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple. And actually the 2, of course, gives me 4, 8. And then these 2 cells are just known. They are 7 and 9. So I think that forces things, because essentially this cell, it's not these 2, it's this cell. And therefore this cannot be 8. But then for it to be consecutive, this would have to be the 8. Otherwise, how can I have a 7, 9 pair that's consecutive? So that is 8. That's not 8. And then these 2 cells are known. They are 2 and 4 again. 8, of course, gave me a 9 and an 8. 6, 7, nothing. 1, 4, nothing. 2 and 8 in here tells me this is not 1, 2. It's not 2, 4. And it's not 4, 8. So only possibility is 3, 6 in here. Now, if it's low in here, this would have to be 1, because 2 and 3 are gone, and 4 would require a double 9, which is not going to work. If this is high, well, 9 and 8 and 6 are gone, this would have to be 7. If it's 7, it would have to be 1, 2. The 1, 4 in here, well, it's not going to be 7. I'll show you why now. Because of this 1, 4, the 1 would have to be down here, the 2 would be there. On a black crop dot, without 1 or 4 being available. So that has to be 1. These are high digits, which unfortunately could be a whole bunch of things. We know in the black crop dot, this would have to be 6 or 8. This would be 3 or 4. And then in a 1, 4 pair tells us that's 3, that's 6. This is not 6 or 7. This is 8 or 9. 16 was 7 or 9. Fairly restricted now. 11, don't even know if it's 3 cages. It can actually be 4. One is in here, just Sudoku. We already did 3. We've already done 6s. 8s and 9s we don't know actually. And okay, not too sure actually. 6, 7, 8, 9 means these are all from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 7 in here would say that these 2 cells have to add up to 9. And I think I'm kind of forced to use 4 and 5 because 1, 8 is not available. 2, 7 would not be available. 3, 6 would not be available. So it would have to be 4, 5. Now, if it is 9, then I need two cells that add up to 7, and then 1, 6 is not available. 2, 5 would be, as would 3, 4, except the 3 is not here. Only thing I've managed to prove is the 1 is over there. I could have done that more easily. Yeah, not too sure what's going on now. So I said this could be 2, 5, 3, 4, or 4, 5. There's no real common digits between these. And Sudoku doesn't seem to be rescuing me here. So I'm going to leave it for now. And just have a look for something that's a little bit easier to get into, stuck into. Is there something that's a little bit easier to get stuck into? So this cell, for example, it's not 9 or 8. If it's a high digit, it would have to be 7, because this would have to be 2, since 1 is not available. If it's low, well, sadly, there's a ton of options, a lot more options. So 1 seems to work, 2 seems to work, 3 seems to work. Am I going to say even 4 seems to? No, because we've got a 4-8 pair. And then when it's 1, 2, or 3, well, I know it's not 6. It'll be 7, 8, or 9. This is not helpful. 11 cage with 1 and 3 gone. Let's just think about the minimum these cells are now. Are 2, 4, 5? Yeah, which is 11. So that is a 3-cell cage. That is not 2. That is not 4 or 5. That is 2. That's not 2. And that's a 4, 5 pair. Then I have, in fact, that's not 4 or 5. Therefore, this is a 3. Now, that means these two cells add up to 13. It's either 4, 9, or it's 6, 7, which is not available. So it is 4, 9, 7. And then these cells are 1, 2, 5. And then, I can do a bunch of Sudoku from here. And I probably should, but I'm just going to come back to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 7. This is the 8, 9 because of the 6, 7 pair. 4, 5, and 1, 2. Well, which one of these is consecutive? It's got to be 1, 2, and this is my 4, 5. This is my second 4, 5, and then these are cells that are known. They're 7, 8, 9. Not as helpful, actually, like going down this route. Hasn't exactly eliminated anything. 9 has eliminated 8, has eliminated 9. 8 and 9 are gone, so this is much more restricted than it was earlier. So this is 2 or 7. Right. So 7, 2. Then we're back to a high, and 7 and 9 would require an 8. Then we're back to a low digit, and 2 and 3 are not available. This would need to be 1. So if this is 7, everything is forced. If this is low, we've established this would be 7, because 8, 6, and 9 are all gone. So 3 is not available as an option in here. And then essentially I would end up with a 1, 2 pair around the 7. And then in here I would have a high digit that actually could be, wow, anything other than the 7, because we'd have had to use it in one of these two cells. Oh, okay. A lot more options than I was hoping for. So I can see that I feel like I need to place a 7 in here. It almost looks like I have to use 1, 2, and 7. So if this is 7, that's 2. I don't have to use 1. I would have to use it in here. Yes, I would have to use 1, 2, and 7. And of course, if this is 1 or 2, this would be 7. This would be another 1 or 2. So 1, 2, and 7 are essentially consumed between these, 3 of these 4 cells are 1, 2, 7. And therefore, they're not in here. Now, this cell, which is not 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, still has a ton of options. It can be 3, it could be 5, presumably could be 6, can't be 7, can't be 8, but could be 9. That's not helpful. Right, remember how I said I'm going to come back to this? Well, I'm back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't do much with 6, 7, 8, or 9. That wasn't helpful. So this is not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We know that this is one of the 6, 7, 8, 9s. In fact, 6, 7, 8. We know that there's another 2 of 6, 7, 8 joining the 1, 2, and 5. Okay. I'm clearly missing something fairly obvious, which I need to spot. Something about this? Like, have I got a triple or something or quadruple in the column that excludes some options? 7, 2, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. Huh. There's no negative constraints. This 3, 5 is not resolved. This is definitely 16. This is definitely 11. It's got to be something really obvious. This is 1, 3, 7, 12. Whatever it is, oh, hang on, I did say the 9, 9, 7 gives me 2 cells. In fact, that's 7, which was there for ages. Sleuth, come on. 1, 2, which forces 7, which forces another 1, 2. And I think that forced an 8 because 2 and 3 are not available, so that's 8. Again, just kindness in the comments, please. Then these 2 cells, well, they're not 1, 2. It could be 2, 3. They're not 3, 4. They're not 4, 5. They're not 5, 6. They're not 6, 7. They're not 7, 8. And they're not 8, 9. It is 2, 3. That's 1. That's 2. That's not 2. That is 2. That is not 3. This is not 6. So there's another 5, 9, and a 6 somewhere in here. And it's not 9. That's 9. This is a 5, 6 pair. That 3, 5 is surely resolved. Yes, that's 3. That's 5. So this is another 6, 7, 8, because essentially we've got 2 more of these plus 1 and 5, which are all at the top row, and this is not 7, so this is 6 or 8, plus 1, 5, and 6, 7, or 8. The 6, 7, or 8 and the 1 cannot be in this cell. That's 5. And then the 6, actually this 8 is not in here either. 8 gave me 4 and 8. These should be interesting. So there's 6, 7, 8 with 4 and 9. And then there is 3 with 2 of 6, 7, 8s. Right, it's got to be the German whispers in here. 2, 3, so 3, 5, 6, can't have 5 on here. If that's 6, that would be 1. If this is 3, well, it can't be 8, that would be 9. 1 and 9 is very permissive. 6, 1, that's not 6 or 7. So it would be 8 or 9. And if it's 3, 9, well, that would be 6. That'd be 1, 2, 4. Like, I feel like I've seen this movie earlier where there's so many options and I'm probably missing some Sudoku again. 2, 4, 1, 4, 2. Eight, we know is down there. 7 is in one of these two slots. 2, we don't know much about. Let's have a look at, columns. None of these cells have 5. That's the only place for a 5. To get to 10, well, this can't be 4. This would have to be 8 or 9, seemingly both of which are allowed. It does give me a 1-2 pair, which is not hugely useful, to be fair. That 5, it does give me a 3-6 pair, so that's not a 3. Then I said I was missing 3 with 2 of 6, 7, 8. And then the 6, 7, 8, well, it can't be 6 because I've got a 3-6 pair, so I've got a 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. We know one of these is the other 7, 8, 9. So that can't be 9. That can't be a high digits, full stop. So it's got to be the 4. And the 4 wasn't hugely helpful. I feel like I had something with 1-2s. No, 1-2s are in this column, not in here. But I kind of have a virtual 1-2 pair between these. But then a virtual 3-6 pair between these, and then like a virtual 7, 8, 9 triple between these. So I feel like I've squeezed all I can out of this. That 8-9 pair should be more helpful than it has been so far. How are we doing for time? 20 minutes. 4-5 pair, not a 5. Where is 5 in column? 7 can only be in here, which gives me a black crocodile. That can't be 7. That is 7. 8 with 4 works a treat. Remember, 1-2 pair are gone. 3-6 are gone. This is 4-8. 8, 4. Not 8. So 1-2-9 to complete this. Now one of these has to be the high digit, and it can only be the 9. So this is a 1-2, which gives me a 1-2 pair, a 4-5 pair. The 1-2 in here, the 3-6. I don't actually, yeah, there you go. 9, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I was about to say I can't seem to resolve these 1-2 pairs, and ta-da! This is 6, 7, 8. It's not 6 or 7, it's 8. 6, 7. 1-8 pair, which is 8, 1. 5, 4. 3, 2. Unresolved. I think the rest are, 7, 8, 7, 3 and 6. 6 and 3. Lovely. 1, 3, 4. 7, 8, I need the 9. It can only be in here. And then 5, 6. Well, that can't be 5. That's 6. That's 5. That's 6. And that's 5 for the finish. Once again, another beautiful puzzle, Meggen033. And I know you guys are all very disappointed. Another fog puzzle in the near future to look at the other town-based one. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. And here I am, having started this recording but without my controls, so apologies. I'm just gonna quickly fix this. Famous last words. And bye-bye for now.